Hey, we're looking at DC in the month of January for 2021. So this is mostly future state, but there is plenty of Black Label and collections and other stuff to go through as well. So we're going to do that right now. You can see up on the screen kind of a little breakdown of what kind of comics are being produced. There's another video that certainly shows that. You can go check it out. But let's get into those January solicitations. Looking at DC solicitations for the month of January, obviously we've got a ton of future state coming up. You saw that graphic at the beginning. That's where we're going. It's mostly future state, but we are going to cover the everything else, the Black Label books, the collections, and everything. We're looking at all DC. I'm not going to go too much into the price. There was another video for that. You can kind of see how all that breaks down. But let's take a look, and we're starting right off with this is probably the book they're hoping is leading things. This is the next Batman. And this is the John Ridley Batman that presumably is Luke Fox. And this is basically the storyline here. By the way, with a lot of these books, we got the main story, and then we got some also featuring some backup stories. So even though this is more expensive at $8, this is 64 pages. And we're getting an outsider story. We're getting Arkham Knight story. So you're getting a bunch in here. And that's kind of the strategy that they're going. So the plot line here is that Gotham City has been kind of taken over by the magistrates, and it's like a police force. Superheroes are outlawed, and it's a dangerous place, a fascist state. And as you know, it feels like we've seen this before. We saw this with City of Bane. We saw a bit of it with Joker War. We've seen this many times in Batman. So I look at this and it's like I wish they would have gone with something other than the mayor allowed private law enforcement group known as the magistrate to take over policing, and there's a new Dark Knight, and it's a Dark Knight against this fascist police state. And I don't know, just saying that out loud, it feels tiresome to me. But I don't know. But anyway, we do get some Katana in here, and we get some other characters. Follow Croc, Two-Face, Phosphorus Zaz, Clayface, and Astrid. So we'll see how that goes. We get Future State Harley Quinn, #1. By Stephanie Phillips. And there's a lot of speculation that this is actually Punchline, that Punchline has taken on the Harley Quinn identity. We don't know. The magistrate has imprisoned Harley Quinn. Scarecrow is there, but is this truly Harley Quinn as we know her? Don't know. So we will find out. Here's Future State Dark Detective. Now, this is by Mariko Tamaki, and this is promising to be dark and gritty. I'm curious to see what dark and gritty looks like from Tamaki. That's not typically her style, but we will see. We do get backup grifter story by Matt Rosenberg. So this is where they thought Bruce Wayne was dead. Is it truly Bruce Wayne? But Bruce Wayne is in theory on the run. It's Batman pushed to the brink with nothing left to lose. But this is more street level Batman, the Dark Detective. So curious to see what that looks like. Robin Eternal, #1 by Megan Fitzmartin. And the idea here is that Tim Drake is got, and spoiler, as a couple, Tim and Stephanie are doing some, fist flying, skydiving, robot smashing, fascist punching, because they're fighting the magistrate. Batman's going to be all about fight the man. That's really what we're getting from this family. Here's the next Batman #2. So this is going to ship pretty quickly. John Ridley's cramming in basically 4 issues in 2 months. So this is where we have, and again, Gotham City Sirens by Paula Stevenbergen and Batgirls by Viti Ayala. Batgirls being Sandra Kane, Stephanie Brown. And then, the Sirens is Catwoman, Poison Ivy, new Siren. But this is, still Batman's on the trail of a murderous couple, the firing line of the magistrate, and the peacekeepers, gritty street level adventures. We'll see. It feels old. That's the thing I get when I read this stuff from the Batman world. It just feels like it's like we've read all this before. That's the challenge I think we have. Here's Catwoman, Ram V, who's solid creator here. Basically, again, masked vigilantes are illegal. Magistrate has commandeered a bullet train to take people to a reformation facility, a re-education facility filled with innocent children. And so Catwoman is going to, stop that train. And here's Nightwing, and he's on the run from the magistrate. Sorry, I don't mean to do this. Again, some of this is looks good and fine. It just I think if you're new to comics and you haven't seen these storylines, you haven't seen Batman at odds with the police, and you haven't seen this kind of overbearing police state storyline, then maybe some of this sounds pretty cool and dangerous to you. But if you have seen it like 4 or 5 times, you're probably looking at this going, I mean, I don't know. So anyway, some Nightwing stuff. That's good. Andrew Constant, I'm curious to see how that comes out. Nicholas Scott draws a good Nightwing, so we'll see how that is. Batman, Superman. So here we get, basically back in the early days, a little bit of a flashback. We're getting a cover, an Art Adams cover. We do not see it here, so that'll be interesting. But Bruce Wayne pushed the edge like never before, and basically this is Clark Kent coming out, and how did Professor Pig get a kryptonite scalpel? So anyway, it's kind of the how we got here. So Batman, Superman supposedly trying to fill in some of the gaps of how we got to this place. Here's Future State Dark Detective, the second issue, and this also 4 issues, featuring kind of what's going on with Bruce Wayne, solving the mystery of his own murder, and then some stuff with Jason Todd in here as well by Joshua Williamson. So that could be pretty solid. See what Joshua Williamson can do with Red Hood. So anyway, that's the Batman side of the world. Now let's hop over and check out the Superman. He's doing this. They basically have Batman, and they have like Superman and everything else, Justice League. So here we have the Superwoman, Kara Zor-El. No more Supergirl. Superwoman. She's got a collar, so you can tell she's serious. Anyway, she is found peace away from Earth. She watches over the moon, and the refugees that have hung out on the moon. I don't know if that's the best place to hang out. I mean, you got the whole multiverse. Like, why are you hanging out on the moon? I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Anyway, alien crash lands and the world goes out of control. Marjorie Bennett. We'll see how that goes. Supergirl needs like a really Superwoman, I guess, needs a solid storyline. She's always dealing with these kind of one-off things, whereas you're reading them, you're like, this is a cool adventure, but it's like, does this matter in the grand scheme of things? Like, when can we get Superwoman, Supergirl into something that matters? Why would you have a full outfit with a collar and a skirt hanging out here? This looks strange. It's poofy. I don't know. What do I say? Anyway, here is Superman Metropolis. Here's John. He's aged a little further now. And basically, Sean Lewis is bringing us, and there's a couple different stories in here with the Guardian and Mr. Miracle. Clark Kent has entrusted her safety to his son. Brainiac attacks. John puts Metropolis in a bottle, and people are pissed about that. And in the new bottles, that we have Jake Jordan, who's a new African-American Guardian that's coming out of here, and Mr. Miracle by Brandon Eastman. And this is the Shiloh Norman, Mr. Miracle. He's in the bottle. He's looking for a way out. He has to escape. So that's what we got going on with John. Bottle Metropolis, sure. And then we get Superman versus Imperious Lex. So this is number 1 of 3. Some people have asked, hey, wait a minute, a lot of them are 2 issues. No, we got some 2 issues, some 4 issues. We got a bunch of different things. This one's going to sprinkle out throughout January and February. Here it may go the first week of March, but that's what's going on here. Still all fitting. But Lexor, home of the greatest businessman in the multiverse, Lex Luthor. Lex's Utopia is ready to join the ranks of the United Planets, but, shenanigans with Superman and Lois. So anyway, that's a nice little cover. What's with this fun little mask? Anyway, no Superman on Lexor. And then we get Future State Superman, Planet Hulk, Worlds of War. And basically what we've got is Superman, and he's gone for just a shield and some chains and just some underwear hanging out. And it's Philip Kennedy Johnson and Mikhail Janin is doing this. We got a Midnighter story, a Black Racer story, and a Mr. Miracle story. 64 pages. This means this first Superman story is going to be a little shy. Anyway, only 2 issues here, so I don't expect a big kind of legacy. But this is War World, and we've got Mr. Miracle is ridden a boom tube from Metropolis to here, I guess, and so it's okay. And then Clark Kent has left, and he is fighting on War World, and he's doing that. We've got Midnighter, and he's punching stuff, and the Black Racer. So the Black Racer, It appears to be a girl now, raised in the slums of Warworld. So this is all about Warworld and its inhabitants. How Midnighter got there, nobody knows. Here's future state Superman, Wonder Woman, and Superman's like, check out that butt. That's it. Maybe that's not what he's doing, but it kind of looks like what he's doing. Anyway, this is John Kent and Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman, which we'll get to in a minute. And some people pointed out that she has, and I don't know that we see it in this picture, we see it in some others, she's got what looks like a batarang, and then the new Batman has what looks like some elements of her costume, suggesting maybe there's a tie in there. I wouldn't read too much into that, but people are just like, oh, is it a romance? Maybe. I don't know. If it's a romance, it's going to play out in 2 months. So that's pretty quick to do a fascist future state and a romance, but maybe. Here's our new Justice League. And so we have our new John Kent, our new Batman, our new Wonder Woman. We have Joe from Far Sector. We've got a Flash from the multiverse here. And we've got the daughter of Arthur Curry. I think this is one of the images that a lot of people are really kind of using to promote the idea of this is the all new, all diverse DC. But I mean, keep in mind, with the exception of, I guess, this Flash from the multiverse and this Wonder Woman, a lot of these characters have kind of in continuity. I mean, they already exist. I know that drives people crazy when I say that, but I mean, it is what it is. It's 2 months of this, but we are getting a Justice League Dark story in here as well. Joshua Williamson doing Justice League. Hopefully this means that's the title he's going to after. Ram V doing the Justice League Dark story. So we will see Constantine, a Ragman, Man of Xanadu there, dealing with Merlin. Where's Dr. Fate? And then, and so we're getting some stuff. And Redacted as Batman. Okay. I think stop doing this at this point. We all know. Oh, well. Here's Future State Aquaman, and here we're getting by Brandon Thomas, Jackson Hyde. So, and then also Andy Curry, the Arthur and Mara's teen daughter. So this is kind of it's Aquaman, but it's like two. It's the son of Black Manta and the son of Aquaman working together. So what will that all do? So, sure. And then Future State the Flash. This is the one that bugs me the most. It's like, hey, let's do bad things to Wally West again. So Brandon Vietti is telling a story about a Wally West out of control, possessed by an evil force, and the Speed Force will all the classic Flash characters survive it. Dale Eggleston is doing that. Here's Future State Green Lantern. This is really our Green Lantern core is a way to probably look at this. But there's a couple different stories in here. It's more of an anthology than anything else. And you get 1, 2, 3 stories for 48 pages. So it's a smaller book, but still with the three stories. So the general premise is that the lanterns are trapped behind enemy lines and the power battery goes dark. And so they don't have the use of their rings. And again, we've seen this story before as well. So I hopefully they can do something. It would be nice to see Guy Gardner do some stuff, I suppose. And then here is the Immortal Wonder Woman. So this is, Diana is still alive and kicking, like all the characters. So there's Michael Conrad, and we also have a backup story for Nubia, who is not a new character. I keep saying over and over, but a lot of people say, "Oh, look, it's another new character." No, this is a character that's existed for a while. But anyway, so Wonder Woman is off, a big action, high fantasy at the end of time, doing something with Darkseid, and a threat that even he can't handle. And so, Nubia, meanwhile, is in Man's World. This is written by Nubia, the real one. So I'm curious, that was a very, very different take on Nubia and that character. So I don't know kind of what we're getting here, what we're getting there. Future State Legion of Superheroes #1. Brian Michael Bendis is still on this book. Riley Russmo is on the art. Two comics in this. Whatever happened to Legion of Superheroes? Team is no more. Everybody's been scattered, but now they must come together to face a threat. Why not? And so here we have these. It looks a little bit like the Legion of Substitute Heroes is kind of what they're going with this. It's an appearance by Legion of Substitute Heroes, actually, for what it's worth. Here's Future State Shazam. Shazam has made some bad deal with the devil or some kind of sacrifice, and so that's shaken kind of the myth of Shazam to its core by Tim Sheridan. We've got the new Suicide Squad. In this case, this is a Suicide Squad that, along with a backup story for Black Adam, Robbie Thompson is doing a story where Amanda Waller basically gets some people from Earth 3 to be the new Suicide Squad. So it's like an evil Justice League. This doesn't look like the Earth 3 characters I remember, but anyway, an evil Justice League is the new Suicide Squad. Future State Swamp Thing is going to be. Is that Poison Ivy? I don't know. She's let herself go. She needs to water those plants. Anyway, this Swamp Thing is basically that the Avatar of the Green is going to take over the planet, or he's going to he's tired of waiting, and he wants the Green to absorb all. So then here's Future State Teen Titans. Teen Titans having a hard time of it again. So basically, return to the side of their greatest failure. Nightwing, Starfire, Beast Boy, Cyborg, join Raven. This is going to feature the first appearance of Red X, and looks like we've got this is Crush, right? The Lobo's daughter is in here as well. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Teen Titans, this is another comic that just needs a good run of them not crapping on Titans. Here's our new Wonder Woman, by Jolie Jones, and it is funny how the tide turned when they revealed this costume. People are like, oh, she looks pretty, and then the people seem to have less issues with Wonder Woman at that point. Go figure. Anyway, so this is she's coming out of the Amazon rainforest, and this is the first appearance of a character that's going to change the history of Wonder Woman forever. This is a character I think more than any is going to have some new life beyond basically what's happening. But anyway, now let's look at the comics from DC that are not tied into Future State, outside of Future State, and we look at kind of what's being done for the rest of DC. Obviously, we've got American Vampire, 1976, number 4. This continues with Scott Snyder, Raphael Albuquerque, and this is kind of, I believe, is being touted as kind of the final story. We've got Skinner, Pearl. If you've been following these characters, they're all in here. And so, this is kind of the wrap up. It's Black Label book. It's 9 comics, so we're kind of hitting the midpoint of American Vampire. We have Batman Black and White number 2. This is an anthology series. If you're interested in Batman and you're wanting to not go into Future State, this is probably your book kind of during this time period. Some pretty nice stuff here. Got a bunch of creators: Tom King, of course, Gabriel Hardman, Karina Pacheco, David Aja, Sophie Campbell, Dustin Weaver, Mitch Gerards. A decent combination of things. I hear that this Tom King story is going to feature a more introspective Batman, maybe not doing action, but maybe kind of questioning himself. Just a rumor. Could happen. Anyway, anthology series, basically. Yeah, Tom King's telling a story about Batman administering a form of last rites to a dying priest. Or maybe it's the other way around. It's a twist. At any rate, so some stuff there. We got Batman: The Adventures Continue. Obviously, this is more in the kids' kind of realm of things. It's a nice little book. We get the White Knight spinoff, Harley Quinn, going on here. This is book number 4 of, I think, God, I wish I could remember how much. I want to say 7. I this is where I'm kicking myself. I can't remember the run at this moment. But there's Katana Collins, Sean Murphy, Matteo Scalera. Really interested to see how that team comes together. But anyway, some good stuff. Harley Quinn came out really well in this series, so interested to see how that goes. Batman Catwoman number 2. This is the series that was kind of intended to move to be the end of Tom King's run, maybe, or it's hard to say. It's been retooled quite a bunch. It is Black Label now. It's issue number 2, although we see here it's issue 3. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? At any rate, this is a 12-issue series. We do have Phantasm in here. There you go. This picture right here. I don't know what Catwoman's doing with this. That's just an awkward pose. I'm just saying. Anyway, but it should have some great Clayman art in here. So really kind of looking through 3 different timelines. Deceased, I believe this is the wrap-up issue of Dead Planet. This was the sequel. So this is number 7. This looks like Captain Marvel. It's not, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so we get some Amazo bits here. That's cool. An Army of Amazos for Earth, John Constantine with Trigon. This is going to keep going. We're going to get more Deceased. It just sells incredibly well. So they're just going to keep rolling with this series. And I would expect things like White Knight as well. Those are just like little universes that just keep rolling. Bring in cash. The Dreaming, Waking Hours. This is the G. Willow Wilson series in Sandman Universe. We got Joker Harley, Criminal Sanity. This is people are sleeping on this series. It's not a bad little series, but it's just kind of floating along in the background. It's like DC kind of forgot that it existed, but it's a nice little story, I think there. The Last God, number 12, and I think we're getting close. Yeah, this is the final issue, which is a shame. This is a great series. If you didn't read Last God, I think collect it and trade. Some really nice stuff coming up there. Then we got our Looney Tunes, and we got our Mad Magazine. And then we got the other history of the DC Universe, number 2. This is also getting lost in the shuffle to some extent. This is the John Ridley, Giuseppe Camicoli book that is looking at some of the for lack of a better word, the non-white members of the DC Universe and kind of their experiences through things. Looks like we're doing a Bumblebee and we're getting Black Lightning. So anyway, this is a bi-monthly book. There's 5 of them coming out. So, but I think DC's kind of been promoting other stuff, including John Ridley's Batman series. Here's Rorschach number 4. I do like these covers. I think they stand out. They're nice little covers that are coming out. So we're getting Laura's story this time. The female companion was introduced in the first issue as we kind of unpack this mystery. I do think they really messed up a little bit in billing this. The billing was it was going to be a political book to look at the current times. This is a detective mystery. That's what it is at its heart. So I feel like they messed up a little bit. Here is Sweet Tooth, The Return. So that's number 3 of there by Jeff Lemire, doing the art and the cover. Here is now we're into, I believe, some collections. Yeah, we're into trade. So we got the Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey Hunt for Harley series by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti. This was a nice little series. It wound up being a pretty fun little book. A lot of people, I think, were turned off because they felt it was more the movie version of the Birds of Prey. But it turned out to be a fun little story. I think it's cool. Here's a Joker War Saga, all collected in one place. So a lot there. $40 for that. Here's Amethyst. There's that collection by Amy Reeder. We're getting Batman Gotham Knights Contested. So this is Chuck Dixon, Devin Grayson coming back. This is it says early millennium. So I guess this would be Batman Gotham Knights 14 through 24 and 29. I think this was 2001. Maybe I got the timeline wrong. But anyway, this is a nice little series. I think definitely a solid Batman and some good stuff by Grayson and Dixon. Here's Books of Magic number 3. You know, your DC Harry Potter. I'm kidding. I'm triggering people all over the place. Here's Catwoman, Volume 4 by Ram V. Some stuff with Sean Murphy and Blake Norcott. This features that material coming into picture. It's their trade. So that's some nice stuff. Here's a nice poster portfolio if you're a fan of Jolie Jones. $25, but a lot of some really nice heavy stock paper. 12 by 16 poster framing, 42 pages. Get some really nice artwork out of there. I wish they would do more of this, and I wish they would also dip further back into their library. There's a lot of really great kind of posters and art. I mean, imagine if they were doing something like this with George Perez. You could publish one a month. It's just what he's done with DC, which would be pretty cool. Here's Ex Machina, the second compendium by Brian K. Vaughan. We've got Green Arrow, 80 years of Green Arrow. This is some nice stuff, $30. Canada, $40. Canada. Anyway, nice new hardcover edition with a lot of different things. It's kind of a weird assortment, though, of issues, I would say. We've got some stuff by Dennis O'Neil. We've got Mike Grell. There's some very good stories in here, but kind of a weird collection. And then a strange cover. They're really going with the New 52 Justice League, and given some of the stories in here, I think that's a strange choice. But anyway, here's the 24th volume of Hellblazer. That's a nice little cover. I like that. Anyway, Sean Murphy should have done more Hellblazer. I think, anyway, should have. Swamp Thing, this is the New 52 Omnibus. This was a really nice, this had some Scott Snyder, some Jeff Lemire, Charles Soule. I thought the Swamp Thing had a really good New 52 run that was largely forgotten. So this will be nice. That's collected. $125 though. Good gravy. I mean, it's a hardcover. It's a lot of pages, but you've got to really want that $125 omnibus there. Meanwhile, here's the Bronze Age. There's some nice stuff in there. Tales from the DC Multiverse. We knew this was coming. Kind of the 5 stories that they published. There are some good ones in here. There's some really nice stories. I don't know how they're going to read in one collection, to be honest. I mean, it was nice to see them just as floppy sprinkled out. If I was reading it this way, I don't think I'd enjoy it as much, but who knows. Here is the collection of Teen Titans where Robin got pissed off and started doing stuff. Very little Batman in this, despite him being on the cover. If you're buying this because you think you're getting a lot of Batman, you're not getting a lot of Batman. But anyway, he is in there. And then here's the V for Vendetta book and mask set. So if you're going out to protest and you want a classier mask, you get one right here and a comic. So that's good stuff. So you can put that mask on and you can do some protesting like it's 2010. It'd be fun. Anyway, that's it for DC, and so this wraps up what DC is doing in January. We've got the future state work, we got the everything else work, and so if you're buying DC, there you go. That's what you're in for. It's a shame this is ending. I hope they do more. This is a solid little book. Anyway, hey, like, subscribe, and let me know what you're buying in the comments below. All that kind of stuff. Want to know what you're interested in when it comes to DC in January. But most importantly, thanks for watching and listening.